Hey, welcome back to another episode of Ego on Break. Remember the name of the show?
Sure.
Brought to you by Root Beers.
I'm drinking Tubbs because I'm tubby, and he's drinking what, Barks?
Barks, yeah, because it has bite, and it's from Mississippi. So recently, we've picked up some action figures, some toys, a little toy haul. You picked some up at Mom's Trash Can, and I've bought some off Macari. So, because I don't go anywhere anymore. So, our official, unofficial, official could be official. They want to be official sponsor of Root Beer.
Barks and Tubby guys, Root Beer. That's not the part, but I like that part anyway.
And that is strictly coincidental that we both were drinking root beer. Yeah. So
I like root beer though.
Was not planned. So yeah, so gonna talk wrestling. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews. Got the Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed, sitting to my side, and we're talking wrestling, action figures, and whatever else pops up.
Lord only knows.
Yep. So why don't you go over your bag? I'll do my bag last. So we're gonna do a little what's in the bag? What's in the bag?
This night I hate to take it out just for one thing, but I guess I can. Hell, it's got one accessory and it's so small.
Got them sunshades on.
And like whoever designed this damn thing was
Well,
like, they'll sit on his nose, good enough. And like I swear they fall off so easy, but it's Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, they're probably not made for his face, so.
I mean, it goes with it, but there's just nowhere to hook it. I'm like, if they had put like a hole under his hair or something, but it's a nice figure, really good.
That's cool. But yeah, it's definitely easily lost.
Yeah, and then there's his elbow pads, his knee pads, all that come with him. And I'm pretty sure there was other accessories, but I like to buy loose. So.
Yeah. You got a Bret the Hitman Hart favorite match memory promo?
Yeah, the one I wanted to ask him about, but we both missed the Comic-Con because they were, let's just say they weren't letting people in at certain times.
Yeah, they wouldn't let people in when they sold out. We didn't buy our tickets.
Well, it was like they allowed so many people at a certain time. But I wanted to ask him about the Owen Hart, Bret Hart WrestleMania 10 match when Owen actually beat him. So I love that match. And then I think the final finish of their feud was the old blue steel cage match. Mm-hmm. And I used to have that thing on what was the VHS company that made porn / wrestling?
Coliseum Video.
That's it. But I had that. I literally wore that tape out till it broke. I watched that match so many times.
That's cool. What else you got?
Let's see here. I'm just picking out random.
Yep, you good.
This is actually a WWF figure. I thought it was I mean, not E, WCW, but...
Is it WCW?
Yes. It actually came out in 2017, but it was a big show when he had hair.
So it's a WWE version of a WCW figure.
Technically, when he got there, he had hair.
Yeah.
So it's 2017. So I don't know if it's supposed to be when he was in WWE or when he was in WCW. Because technically he had hair both times.
And I don't know if he was part of it, but I know there was a line of best of WCW figures that WWE did. So that could be it.
It's a really cool figure. Because they had that one and they had a bald one, but I chose that one.
Yeah, I like this one.
Just because I was like, man, I ain't seen him with hair since...
WCW.
Well, no, like I say, he had it at the beginning of his WWF run.
When he was Paul White?
Yeah, he was actually exactly Paul White. And then I found this one. And tell me... Okay, we both met him. I'll show y'all first, which is hard to tell. But this, to me, looks like the fake Sting. Even the hair. But if you look at his face, it doesn't really look like Steve. It looks like the fake Sting. And we met him. And I have no idea whose facial it is, but I swear it looks like the fake Sting. Don't it?
I don't know, but he's got a huge nose.
Yeah. It does not look like Sting. It looks like the guy that was the fake Sting.
Maybe it's NWO Sting.
So, exactly. That's all
that might be like Mr. Kennedy was Sting one time. And Barry Windham has been Sting. Sting's been portrayed by many other people. So,
but I swear it looks like the guy we met down in...
yeah, NWO Sting. Jeff Farmer, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh, that's a cool
And
figure.
then I found this one. When I found it, it had 2 stickers on it. Guess how much I paid?
15.
20. Yeah, but it had... The sticker I saw was here. It said $5. Turned out there's a sticker on the bottom. It says 30. And I showed her. I was like, "Look, ma'am," I said, "I didn't put it on there." I said, "You literally just saw me pick it up," because I was like, $5 for that? Hell yeah! So
Yeah, that's a cool figure.
She cut me a deal and gave it to me for 20. So not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
The actual jacket is amazing, because I think that's from his comic book. Remember when I sold you that? Remember the artist?
Yeah.
But it looked
So it's
like him.
2001 Jakks Pacific.
Yep.
But show off that
Yeah.
back hit on that jacket.
And it's awesome. That's one of my favorite Warrior figures I've ever found.
Yeah, I'm about to buy it now. I just broke
Yeah,
it.
that was beautiful.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Weird to say a toy is beautiful, but they just did a good job on this thing. Tell Fury he's going to get this Warrior gear made.
Yeah.
And then I saw this one, and I never see this guy loose, but
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. I'm a big Mark Henry fan.
If you've never seen Mark Henry's retirement speech with John Cena,
Yes.
it's great.
That's the best
I mean,
thing.
it's a work of beauty. It put him over the top for a main eventer for me. Like,
I agree.
I mean, he had done did some main event stuff, but
And
for
that-
me, that was
That's
what
when he
was
had
at.
the title run.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, big fan of that. Go watch it. It's worth it.
Oh, I meant to ask you, any Sting or Warrior memories?
For me, man, just with Warrior, just the freaking running. I mean, I'm just like, dude was like,
It's about to stroke
Sprinting.
out in the ring.
like,
No.
I mean, for me, like, that always got me hyped, man, as a kid, man. That music would come on, it was perfect for him. He had some virginities running, shaking the ropes. Dude was amazing. I have to say, I was definitely a Warrior fan. So, and a Sting, man, honestly, I don't know, we met him at an autograph signing here in Jackson, and
3 years ago.
I tried to invite him to an autograph. Tried to invite him to an indie show, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'll pass."
Yeah, he's like, I'm good.
So, it was when he was promoting his book.
What about Big Show when he had the long hair?
You know, I don't have a lot of like WCW memories or WWF. For WCW, I remember one time watching him like walk to the ring with a cigarette,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like, what? This looks so weird.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then in WWE, just when he debuted and he ripped off the door like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So
Here's what I remember. The first time he won the belt, he won it off Flair.
mm-hmm.
And Flair has him in the figure four, and he goes from a laying down position to a sit-up position like Taker, grabs him by the throat, and comes straight out of the figure four, choke slams him and wins the belt.
Wow.
That's what I remember. Yeah. And then when he got shoved off the building by Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
'Cause it was
the
so
monster
stupid.
truck thing.
And he shows up about an hour later.
It's
He's like,
horrible.
I'm good. I didn't hurt
I
at all.
landed in water. I'm not wet. I dried off. Yes.
It was so stupid. Let's see.
Well, that's a cool
And-
figure.
I liked this one, and I just wish it had the hat.
Yeah.
But Bray
Bray
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Yes, I'm a big fan of him. I think it had a hat,
It did.
and
And
I
a
want to
lantern.
say a lantern and a vest,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken.
I'm a big fan of
So-
like original Brave Wyatt
They
family.
had this,
like-
and they had the Fiend. I chose this.
yeah, I'm not gonna say the Fiend wasn't great. It could have been amazing. I just lost interest in televised wrestling by that point,
Yeah.
and I was just really into I love the Bray Wyatt character, the OG.
And after I told you that time, Randy hit him with a toolbox and dropped
Yeah.
a ladder on him and everything else under the sun. The Fiend just, I hated that character.
I wish the Husky Harris would have got over. I was a big
Yeah.
Husky Harris fan.
Ran through, yeah.
Dude could move for a big guy.
Yes. And then he grew a beard and long hair, and
Yeah.
then you find out his daddy was IRS.
Well, before that, he was, he tried a kind of a version of like a
Yeah, he
serial
wore a
killer.
mask.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Axel Mulligan. I always thought that could have been
Yeah.
cool, but it was
Well,
probably
it was NXT. One
Yeah.
day you might see it as a figure.
built for the indies. So
And this is one I wanted because it was a Kane, and I've been wanting a good Kane. figure.
Kane is just one of those characters, man. Like I'm glad it came around.
Yeah. Because out of everybody's debut, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. This is my last figure I got, but I want to ask you out of these two, who had the better debut. The other is Santino Marella, and it sounds weird to compare these two,
I like that.
but the
Tattoo on the
tattoo is
back.
amazing. That's what I was gonna say. That's probably my favorite thing about it. But I like Santino. I was a huge fan. Okay, Santino's debut was he was pulled out of the crowd and beats Umaga for the IC title.
Yes.
He comes to the Hell in the Cell and rips the cage off and costs Undertaker the Hell in the Cell match. Who had the better? He beats the unbeatable Umaga. He beats Shawn Michaels.
I remember.
Undertaker.
when you pull that figure out, my first thought was boom, Kane ripping the door off.
Yep.
When you pulled that Santino Marella figure, I was like, who is that guy? Was first. Because it looks like the old Impact Wrestling figures, TNA figures, where they're like the same body for every guy, and everybody's
not bad.
Changeable head.
The tattoos
But
are awesome.
if you would have put a gun to my head and said, "Tell me how Santino Marella debuted," I
You
could have
didn't know.
told you.
That's what I say.
I remember that they pulled him out of the crowd. I do
Yep.
remember that, and like they tried to make him like this believable character from Milan or something
It's
like
going
that.
into WrestleMania, and Bobby actually come down and speared.
But I
him
couldn't
and
have
helped
told
him.
you nothing
Yep.
about
But I thought like two of the best debuts ever was theirs. Honest to God.
Kane. Had a really
How do you
good
get
one
the
for sure.
IC belt on your first freaking night and you got pulled out of the top?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that kind of concept of
No,
pulling
it
people
is
out of the
weird,
crowd.
but-
I hate that. So,
But it definitely sticks with you. You know.
well, it didn't me.
Well, it stuck with me.
So my figures are not loose; they are cased, but they are all micro brawlers. Some of these may be, I couldn't remember what I've gotten in since the last time we've done one of these. So I just pulled some off my shelf. So the first one I have is Ric Flair. This is in the black robe. Woo! So just, I'm a fan of the micro brawlers.
You got a
Flair's
favorite
cool.
match of his?
I really don't. Flair's been a ton of good ones, and if you're like, hey, let's watch here's 10 Flair matches, I'd probably enjoy them. But just his promos, man, I just remember Flair talking and stuff. Like, his matches they were good, but
There was one match that stuck out to me, and it was forever. I never thought Flair was like a badass.
yeah,
He fought Vader, and that match was him fighting, and I do mean fighting.
he probably was fighting for.
No, that's more or less for everything I've read about it. But it was him fighting. It wasn't just
Yeah.
No, this was he brought the punches and had to.
Yeah.
And it was really, and he beat Vader. And
I mean, I
that's
could
my
see where that
favorite
would be really good.
Yeah. They killed each other.
Flair. I mean, he bled, he bumped, and he sold.
He didn't have no
what I mean?
option in this match but to believe.
So I'm just a Flair fan, just for the overall longevity of that character. You know what I mean?
True.
So I've got Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, that's my favorite. One of my favorite wrestlers.
Got a little picture there on the back. I don't know if I showed it on the Flair one or not. Claudio, man, just
I still like his Ring of Honor.
I was gonna say, man, watch Chikara Ring of Honor, man. That's for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, he became more famous, but he was doing a lot of the same stuff he had already been doing.
I just never felt like he was used to his potential in WWE. But him and what's his name? His tag partner in ROH,
Chris Hero.
Hero. I love their tag matches.
Yep. So Kings of Wrestling, check
Yes.
that out. I just love the Ricola bomb. Ricola. That's awesome. Next favorite, Bobby Heenan.
Hell yeah.
So
I watched some of his stuff the other night.
I'm a big Heenan fan.
When they're sitting at the long
I
table.
stole a lot of his stuff
Remember
when I
when
was
they're-
managing.
You remember when they're sitting at the long table and he turns on Perfect for Flair and he actually slapped Perfect? I watched that the other night.
It's good stuff, man.
Yes,
Like
it was.
Bobby was such a charismatic guy, and then he made a lot of money and made it really far in the business and done a lot. And it's really cool because dude was a high school dropout.
Yes.
So just shows you just because you quit school
just
doesn't mean you have to
blew my
quit.
mind about
Striving.
How he lived by his mouth, and by the end of his life, he couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
But-
Throat cancer or
Yeah.
whatever.
Because it was jaw cancer.
Right.
Yeah, jaw and tongue.
Then I got Hayabusa.
Oh, I like Hayabusa. Yeah,
Big fan of Hayabusa from his FMW stuff.
creator of the 450. and
Yeah, the
Falcon's
Phoenix
Arrow.
Splash and a
Yeah,
bunch
Phoenix-
of stuff.
Yeah, Phoenix Splash.
So I don't really have a particular match. I just in a world of blood and guts, he stood out because he had this kind of superhero style ninja, get up.
But he's actually.
And dude is really, really good.
You remember I had that one DVD. Me and you watched it. I don't know how many times, but literally had like a video of him painting his face, and that was really cool.
Yep.
And he supposedly went and trained with monks. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was some cool stuff.
I mean, I'm a big Hayabusa guy. So, and then last for me is One Man Gang. I think
Yeah.
I've showed this guy off. This is actually a duplicate. I bought a lot of figures that had this one and that Flair and one more, but I can't remember what the other one was. But it was a duplicate I had. It was just I could buy all three for the same price I could buy Flair, so I got this. So Super cool for the One Man Gang, and because I know you're a fan of Gang,
Yes, big
it's yours.
time. Oh,
I
thank you.
already have it.
I got a controversial question. Which one do you like better, Akeem or One Man Gang?
For me, Akeem is more memorable, but Gang was cool. I wish I could have watched Gang when he was first coming in Mid-South and he was jumping off the top rope and stuff. I mean, I really wish I could have saw more of that. And it's on YouTube, but it's not the same as watching it in that time period when you were, when you were a kid. I really wish I could have got some of that when he was with Skandar and that kind of thing, man. Like, I really think Gang was a monster. I guess the one thing I really remember about Gang is, like, he would be managed by Slick, and he would, like, in Slick's ear, and you could just tell he was going, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, he wasn't saying nothing, So, so crazy. And then Slick would talk for him or whatever.
There was him and Boss Man as what were they, Twin Towers?
Yeah, Twin
right?
Towers.
Yeah, and I love that.
I tried to recreate that with two guys. We actually had it on one Ego show. It was Walker Hayes and Aaron Roberts, and I called them the Twin Terrors as a play on, as a kind of homage to the Twin Towers.
And if you've never seen it, I do encourage you to go look up the Akeem origin video.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is one of the dumbest / funniest
And please don't cancel it.
awesome things ever.
Don't cancel it. Don't me to it. I mean, you just kind of had to be there,
Yeah, 'cause that's right, brother. And I'm like, is he having a conniption? What's going on? The garbage cans are smoking. It's some of the weirdest 80s stuff you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's horrible, but in a good way. Like,
And he wasn't he at King of Trios one year, and there was a guy dressed like Akeem, and he borrowed the hat.
yeah, because
and
it was
he did
One Man Gang and Demolition as a trios.
Yes, and he did the dancing or whatever, as
Yeah,
close to dancing as that could be.
I swear the guy might have been Conrad Thompson. Now that I think about it,
Might have been, might have been.
the Alabama Dream.
But I just remember him doing that. I couldn't tell you who the heck they were wrestling, but I just remember.
I just remember it was
them.
they were like Team WWF, and it was Demolition and him.
I want to
And
say it might have been Fist.
it could have been.
So,
That definitely fits up into it. So,
well, what's the guy that passed away? He had the blonde hair from Chikara.
Larry Sweeney.
I think he was in a match because they did a strut off.
Well, it could have been
Remember
like
that?
Sweet and Sour Inc.
Might have
then.
been.
Yeah.
But I remember them doing a strut off, and that's when the Akeem hat come into
Yeah.
play, if I'm not mistaken.
So very cool stuff. Yeah, so we've talked pretty much close to 20 minutes on these figures. So I don't guess we have to go into detail on anything else. So yeah, this has been our toy unboxing, figure finds, or whatever you want to call it. Figure finds isn't bad. It's not a bad name. But it was definitely an episode of What's in the Bag.
Yep.
So as we
Lot of
both brought
wrestling
bags. So till next time, watch wrestling, like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.